for the Defiant Strike again. And again, we are going to get all of these cards back with the feather. So they get shape for protection. And like I said, the feather redeemed just redeems and gets all of our stuff back in shape. So they're not going to outrace us. They're not going to target us. And we win. Ladies and gentlemages, civilians across the multiverse, welcome back to another episode with Mana Man, and today we've got a juicer for you. Before we get into the deck, make sure to leave a like. The button looks just like this and it helps out the channel tremendously. I'd greatly appreciate it. But let's go ahead and dig right in this. I call this deck the Loop-de-Loop. You got the Loop-de-Loop and Pull, SpongeBob reference. We got the Feather the Redeemed. Flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, you're going to exile that card, and then at the beginning of your next end step, you're going to put that into your hand. So you have just like, kind of like the unstoppable loop. So if we can get down a creature of some sort and hold up either God's Willing, which gives you protection, and the Wild Shape. What I love about the Wild Shape is that we have the ability, the reach almost is never relevant. We have the 1/3 turtle with hexproof, so obviously it's just spot removal protection. Or you have the 3/3 elephant with trample, so we can just kind of bust through, especially with the Virtuoso. It does have double strike, but it doesn't have trample. So if you can get down the Virtuoso with the Wild Shape, you can at least protect it, or you can trample through for damage, and that is the way we play. You do need lots of creatures in this deck to kind of perform, so that is kind of why I think I have like the perfect little number of creatures and protection spells. So the Angelfire Ignition, we can kind of like push through this with flashback. The Virtuoso can connive it away if it's not very relevant, and then you can just flash it back later. But once the Feather of the Redeemed comes out and you have some way to protect your spells, it is just game over. The Defiant Strike is wonderful. I am not running the Ancestral Rampage, the sorcery card that has +0, it gives you trample. Because it's a sorcery, I want to be able to just cast everything at instant speed. So the Swiftspear, what I love about the Swiftspear and the Hoplite is you usually drop these creatures and people like freak out and they'll just start going for Fatal Push, and they'll just start doing, and like we don't really win that way. We win by having the Season of Growth and then having the Legionnaire, Virtuoso, and the Redeemed. These cards are almost like decoys. They are good, obviously, but they act as decoys. They just freak out and they just target them right away, and they burn through all their stuff, and then we go for the Virtuoso, the Legionnaire, or the Redeemed, which is a little bit more of our win conditions, and then we go for like the protection spells, and then they just can't really do anything, and we bust through. The only problem I think is going to be the Amalia decks. We don't have spot removal for the Amalia decks. I already have a feeling that's going to be kind of an issue because they have their combo and they just get Amalia to the 2020, the Wild Growth Walkers, and that's going to be a big problem. But other than that, I think we have enough power. This is kind of like a little combo-y type of deck. A little setup and a lot of explosion. So this is the deck. Hopefully we can just kind of bust through and have a good time. So go ahead and consider joining the channel. That would help me out as a content creator. I greatly appreciate that. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. And without further ado, let's get ready to vanquish some enemies. Open, how we doing here? Okay, so we're opening with a pretty good hand here, so I guess we'll keep it. I'm really a big fan of the Wild Shape. The Wild Shape, I completely forgot about that card. Let's go in for the Hoplite. The Hoplite doesn't really make or break the deck. What I kind of like about the Hoplite is they usually mistake it for an early threat when it's really kind of not, honestly. So we got the Harvester, not that big of a deal, and we do get our 10th District Legionnaire, our second 10th District Legionnaire. So that's good. Yeah, let's go and swing it. If they want to trade here, I think we're completely fine with that. They can use the Harvester, just kind of block it out anyway. So, yep, I think we're completely fine with that. And like I said, our Hoplite, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. So, I'm not sure exactly what we're playing. This could just be like a Rakdos mid-range. So, what I'm thinking is we just try to drop the Feather. Feather the Redeemed. Of course, I love this card so much. It does take a little bit of setup. But if we can just have the Feather survive a turn, which kind of is a tall ask to be completely honest with you, then we can go for Defiant Strike, Wild Shape, and then just like keep recycling our stuff. Okay, so Thoughtseize comes out to play. I'm a lot happier to see Thoughtseize than removal, because if they have removal and just remove the Feather, that means that we can't get into our fun stuff. And plus we even have the Virtuoso. The Virtuoso is like just, I mean, it's one of like the deadliest cards and even like standard, so let's see what they're probably taking their time. It's either going to be, it's not going to be the Legionnaire, I don't think. I think it would either be the Virtuoso or one of the instants. Definitely Confuddle. I don't blame them though. This actually is a kind of a hard thingy. So they take the Virtuoso and just fingers crossed that we do survive the Feather, because if the Feather survives here, another Harvester, and that is going to be a little bit too slow. And now that we've got Defiant Strike, we've got the Wild, ooh, another Defiant Strike, and now it's about to get saucy with the Feather the Redeemed. Okay. The Wild Shape is our protection spell, so I think we can just double Defiant Strike and then just go for the Wild Shape. Let's go ahead and swing in here, of course. The Hoplite, most likely, I'm not gonna burn the Wild Shape if I don't have to. I think we're just holding up the Wild Shape for protection. As long as you have protection, I think we kind of have like a, I don't want to call it a soft, and they don't even block, which is pretty wild. So let's do it. Defiant Strike, I guess we will put it on the Hoplite. It doesn't really matter. This is not permanent anyway. So Season of Growth. Okay, let's just go for the Defiant Strike again. And again, we are going to get all of these cards back with the feather. So they get boom, we get a God's Willing. So that is another protection spell. Bang, bang. And like I said, we'll keep up the Wild Shape for protection. And like I said, the feather redeem just redeems and gets all of our stuff back. You gotta love that. And now they even see that we have the Wild Shape. So they're not gonna outrace us. They're not gonna target us. And we win. White Star Meow. How you doing here? What a name there. Okay, so looking pretty good. I always want to drop the Jetmir's Garden. Of course, the Swiftspear is nice on turn 1, but this is not mono red. This is Naya target combo-y type of stuff, so we do need a little bit of setup before we do our cool stuff. So yeah, Sacred Foundry, we're definitely going to pay the 2, even though we are going against presumably an aggro deck, but that's fine. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for the Season of Growth. I would like to kind of get the Virtuoso out. Maybe we'll go for the Legionnaire, though. Hold on. If we go for the Season of Growth, I don't know. It might be a little bit too slow, but let's put this out here. So, okay. The Lightning Strike, again, you know my philosophy. A Lightning Strike to a creature is not a Lightning Strike to your face. So that is what I like about that. Gonna go for the Monastery Swiftspear. At this point, we can hold up God's Willing, but I don't want to. I'd rather just draw, because we do need to hit our land drop here, and that is going to be wonderful. So 15 to 15, we are presumably going to lose a race, but if we can drop the Virtuoso, I think we'll win the race, because then we have God's Willing to kind of protect the Virtuoso, and then once we get the Virtuoso to explode, at this point, I think the Season of Growth kind of method is going to be a little bit too slow, even though it is a really good card. And the Festivities. Okay, so we actually survived that. They just want to push a little bit more damage, which is understandable, but our Swiftspear does survive. I think we're just going to have to drop the Virtuoso. If we drop the Virtuoso, we get to queue up the God's Willing. And God willing, we might win this match. So the question becomes, do I even want to swing? I think maybe not. I mean, I might have to use this to block their own Swiftspear, and then I think we're just planning on using the Virtuoso to just push through. It's a lot of damage, but with Double Strike, so Lightning Strike, that's completely fine. We have the God's Willing. Let's go ahead and use it on you. Alright. And hopefully they don't have anything else. Ooh, another Virtuoso. I think we're going to get rid of the Season of the Growth, just so we can get the Connive ability. And, ooh, a Jetmir's Garden has to come in tap, so I guess we'll get rid of that. So 2-3. Now we have protection from red. So now they actually don't even probably want to swing in. The Great Revel comes in, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I would love to see a little something else. So now I'm just trying to think here. The Invigorated Rampage can push a lot of damage. I don't think we have enough to actually win, though. So +4, +0. I mean, we could connive, but they would just probably chump block. But maybe they don't. So if I swing in with a Virtuoso, or maybe should I swing with both? I think we kind of have them where we want them. The Virtuoso is going to allow us to push through a lot of damage here. So let's do some mental math. And they don't even block with the Great Revel. That is interesting. So let me just do some mental math here. We go for the Invigorated Rampage. Just +4, +0 because this has double strike. So we want it to all go into the Virtuoso. And I am going to go ahead and get rid of the other Virtuoso because we need that Connive +1/+1. And if I can do math here, that's 7. I was hoping to kind of draw into another like instance thing. That's going to be 7, that's 14, and with the Swiftspear, because they got greedy and did not block with the Great Revel, we don't even have to worry about a next turn, and that is just enough for a lethal good game. Daryl R40. Okay, so this is... The Rampage, it's close. It's close to a mulligan, but we do have the Hoplite, and the Defiant Strike can kind of make us draw, so, you know, it is close to a mulligan, but whenever it's close, I typically just kind of roll with it. Let's just gamble a little bit. So now that we draw into the Season of Growth, I actually do not want to drop the Hoplite. Typically, kind of just drop the Hoplite, cool. Ooh, now a double Season of Growth. Now this gets a little bit interesting. So I'm going to pay the 2 life. Definitely going to go for the Season of Growth now. We do get that Scry when the Hoplite comes out this way, so that's going to be why we do that. Ooh, so make disappear. Not a big deal. We do have a Season of Growth number 2 in the hand, so that's okay with me. So, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go for a Season of the Growth. Yeah, like I said, they can't make disappear this one unless they have another make disappear. But even if they do, it's not really the end of the world, and they don't. That's nice. So let's go for the Hoplite. Let's go for Hoplite. They can make, okay, they're holding up priority for something, so maybe it is just like the good old Leyline Binding. Swiftspear, I wish, oh man. It's close. I am looking for another land here, but if I drop the Swiftspear, we can draw with the Defiant Strike, and then we get another draw, and we get another threat overall, so I think I am going to keep it. It is close, though. It is close. There's the Leyline Binding, and I wonder if they're going to take away the Hoplite. They probably should take away the Season of the Growth. So that's what I love about the Hoplite. They take away the Hoplite, and, like, that's not really the biggest threat. They have to, I mean, the Season of Growth is much more impactful, in my opinion. So the Hoplite does not do a whole lot, so they do get rid of it, but now they give us that land that we were looking for. We're not going to be able to take the Swiftspear, but the Swiftspear really wasn't that big of a deal anyway. I want to get some protection up. If I can get one of my protection spells for the Feather, then we can just kind of hold down the Feather, and that'll be that. We can protect ourselves from a Leyline Binding, but we can't protect ourselves from a, Can't protect ourselves from a Sunfall, but either way, let's drop the Feather of the Redeem. I am going to go for the Defiant Strike here, just because we do get it back. They are all tapped out. I do not have a protection spell. I don't have any sort of like hexproof instant or anything like that, but we do get this Defiant Strike back, so the Invigorated Rampages aren't doing a whole lot for us. Hopefully I do not see... Well, it doesn't really matter, because I don't have protection anyway. Okay, so Sunfall. So even if I did have protection, Sunfall takes care of us anyway. So we get the God's Willing. So now God's Willing we do have, but now we don't have our Feather, so the shenanigans can't really resume. So and it is unfortunate. It is tempting to go for like a Defiant Strike just for the card draw, but I think we'll just keep it. So unless they have another Sunfall, Cosmic Rebirth, what? Okay, so they just really want another land? Okay, so that tells me they most likely have an Atraxa. Okay, so they really, really want another land for the Atraxa. Okay. Wow, they don't. Okay. So they get a Besiege You. Okay, I mean, I don't really have to do anything really right now. So let's go for the 10th Legion Legionnaire. What the heck did I just say? 10th District Legionnaire. I think we are probably... I mean, I do want to hold up God's Willing, but at this point, the God's Willing is a little bit... I think we'll just push damage here. I guess it's the same thing. +2, +0 is the same thing as one getting +4, +0, so whatever. Swiftspear, I think we'll keep that. Obviously, haste creatures versus a control-y type of deck is pretty good. And we could go for the Defiant Strike. I guess I am going to do this. We do have the God's Willing, but if they're packing Sunfall, again, I just want to push damage. And plus, we have a Swiftspear if they do have spot removal. So I think that is a net positive to just kind of draw that instead of holding up God's Willing. So let's see if they have the Attract. Oh, they do. Ooh, gross. Okay. So the God's Willing can prevent damage, so we can kind of like... We can kind of bust through the Atraxa, give it like Trample, we got the Invigorated Rampage, and we have the God's Willing. I'm just not sure. I don't think I want to go for God's Willing before combat, just because we can make us unblockable, but I don't think we have got enough damage to push through, and I think the way that we're going to win this is going to be hard, because now they have the Herd Migration as well. If they cast that, it's going to get a little nasty, so... Let's give him a thinking here. Because we're going to have to tank. We're going to have to tank into the Thought Tank here a little bit. If I go for 10th District Legionnaire, if I go for an Invigorated Rampage, we go for double... I think no matter how we slice it, we're going to have to go for God's Willing. We're going to have to fight the Atraxa, and then just give ourselves the God's Willing. Let's just go for the... Well, let's go for a Rampage here. Let's just target the District Legionnaire. Defiant Strike is fine, I suppose. And like I said, I would love to be able to give myself the God's Willing and just kind of trample through here for damage, but I really can't do that. I wish I just had some more instant spells, but we don't, unfortunately. So this is going to be the best move. Let's just swing in with our 10th District Legionnaire. I'm assuming they're obviously going to block. But like I said, we have to use this at combat because now we don't We get protection. I guess we just call it white. The attracts us 4 freaking colors. So Defiant Strike is fine, I suppose. Let's call out white, and now we can't get damage delivered to us. So the lifelink is not going to go through, and we kill the Atraxa. That's probably our best move here. I guess, I mean, I don't want to get Sunfall. If they drop this Herd Migration, we're going to look a little rough here. Hopefully that God's Willing did instill a little bit of fear into their mind, because if they drop... That's the only thing I can really hope for. Because, I mean, I don't really see like it's really any... What? Wait, what? Why would you drop the Chrome Seed Shark? You just have to drop the Herd Migration, right? And unless they drop another land, they can't really gain the life. What? No way! What? Whoa. I think we're going to steal this. Hold on. I haven't done the math quite yet, but let's go ahead and just play our thing. If you drop the Herd Migration, you pretty much just, like, stomp us out. But if they block here, and then we just have the Defiant Strike... What are you doing? You just gave us the game. Defiant Strike, and you don't even block the biggest thing. Angelfire Ignition will put that away. I think, hold on, yeah, this is it. 8, yeah, this is it. You just gave it away, my friend. We just got gifted a win, but I will take it. Hello, wide. How you doing here? This is, I have no green sources, so, and 2 green cards with no green sources. I think we're gonna have to find a mulligan here. I don't like mulliganing. No green again, but we can put a wild shape away. And we got a Virtuoso. This is a little bit better by default, I suppose. So, and they also, our opponent also took a mulligan. So let's go ahead and give our friendly mulligan hello to our opponent and just drop the Hoplite and see where we goes. I was, of course, giving up the Virtuoso. The Virtuoso is a little bit more of the win condition. So, oh man. I think we're just gonna... Let's swing in here. Try to drop the Virtuoso. I think... I shouldn't have paid the 2 on the Stomping Ground. It probably isn't going to matter. I guess we could just kind of like scare him or whatever, but I want to have the wild shape up for the Virtuoso. So we pay the 2 life for no reason, but whatever. Whatever. Let's do this, and now we'll go for them for the Virtuoso. And let's swing in. Now we have the wild shape up here. But the only problem is, I mean, hindsight is 2020, but I mean, I already know this is going to be the Amalia Wild Growth combo. But, like I said, it does take so there's Amalia, and they have, like, what, the Wild Growth? And they actually do have it right here. So they have the Prosperous Innkeeper, which creates a treasure token. If they drop it, oh my gosh, okay. Well, I mean, this is pretty much, like, the best meta deck, like, ever. But not ever, but, like, an Explorer right now. So what they do is have the Amalia, they have the Wild Growth Walker, and they keep pinging off each other. So I'm just going to go ahead. Dark Hand, GYN. Not sure what GYN stands for. It might be a new acronym, but... Alright, let's see if we can kind of avenge the loss here. Let's go for the Sacred Foundry, Favored Hoplite. Of course, the Favored Hoplite kind of doing some, like, decoy type things. Jetmir's Garden on turn 2 is a little bit awkward. I do kind of want to get into the Seasons of Growth. Well, let's go ahead and swing in. Yeah, let's just drop the Season of Growth. That's fine. And then turn 3, we can kind of go for the Jetmir's Garden. Angelfire Ignition, of course, only relevant in, like, kind of deeper matchups. So, Dina the Soul Steeper, I have a feeling that this is going to be... the Amalia Wild Growth. The deck is pretty much everywhere, and I understand why. The deck is very, very good. If you have the combo pieces, if you have a way to gain life, with like the Lunarch Veteran, or the, so actually don't even block the Hoplite, which is actually kind of funny. It's like unnecessary damage, but that's the way they are. That's the way these Amalia players are. They're probably just kind of stuck in their own ways. So there's Amalia. Fortunately, this time they can't go for the Wild Growth Walker. They don't have that kind of setup here, but they just kind of auto-win. Alright, so we gotta make a decision. I think going for Angelfire Ignition probably is the best way to do this. And pay the 2 life. We're not, like, the life is not a big deal. We just kind of have to beat them before they get into their combo. So, I think we're just gonna hold it, yeah, let's go for the Angelfire Ignition, just put it on the 10th District Legionnaire. Feels pretty simple. With the Season of Growth, we do get a little bit of more action that way as well. Defiant Strike, I guess we'll keep. I guess we will keep it. We do get that into the hand, which is kind of nice, and I think I am going to swing in here. I'm actually going to swing with the Hoplite as well. We do have the Defiant Strike that we can just kind of put on there. They're not going to put their Amalia in harm's way, just because, yeah, they're just not going to do that. So I am tempted to just push more damage here. I don't think this deck really runs... I mean, they can't have fatal pushes and stuff, so this is a little bit risky. But like I said, I have to just be as fast as humanly possible, because they have life gain. They have... like the combo. If they just get the combo, the game's literally over. We do have Feather the Redeemed, which I think might be a little bit too slow. And again, our life total does not matter here. All that really matters here is that they have Collected Company. If they find a way to gain life, this is actually pretty good though. They need a Lunark. Okay, so they either need like one of those Lunark thingies that gains life every single time someone comes onto the battlefield, or a Prosperous Innkeeper, but they need the Wild Growth Walker to really complete the cycle. So right now we just take a little bit of damage from Dina, and then Amalia just kind of does its thing, but it's not I don't want to say it's not infinite, because it stops at 20, but it's infinitely bad for us, that's for sure. So now I have the Feather the Redeemed, but again, I am so nervous about this deck. I think I just want to push damage. So I think we're just going to go for the Angelfire Ignition. Of course, we have protection with the Wild Growth Shape that we can also give for that. So let's just go and put it on you. Yeah, we could, like I said, Feather's going to be a little bit too slow. I guess we'll just put you away, I guess. Oh, another land is nice. Yeah, let's just swing in here. Yep. The Hoplite is, you know, hey, Hoplite is getting in there. And we have Trample, so they're gonna have to yeah, wait, what? Well, this is lethal, right? They have 6 life. They have no... I don't have to do anything right now. This is literally lethal. Yeah, we're doing 5, trampling over. Hoplite's getting in 1. This is 6. Yeah, this is lethal. So just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. They do have treasure tokens that they can do. Kind of flash something in, but we do have the Wild Shape. This is lethal, right? I mean, what am I missing? They gave us a snooze. Well, hey, a cheers to you. A cheers to you, because you've been snoozing on the job, because this is totally on you, my friend. I don't know if that's just saltiness, but feels good to kind of beat the Amalia deck. This deck is pretty gosh darn annoying, and we do avenge ourselves, so GG's. Loki, how you doing here? Okie dokie, Loki. Alright, so we got the Jetmir's Garden. Jetmir's Garden on the turn 1 is always nice to kind of just set up your stuff here. We don't have to worry about the Hoplite. We are more of a set-up explosion deck. We don't need to kind of like play our stuff on curve. Not as nearly as important. So let's go for the... I don't know what we're playing. Are we playing against... I have no idea what we're playing against. It could just be some sort of like Haughty Explorer Djinn or Ledger Shredder. This is most likely going to be the Arclight Phoenix deck, which is like a really, really good deck. So Jetmir's Garden is a little bit slow. I think we're just going to go ahead and put down the Season of Growth and just see if we can get into our kind of combo stuff before they get into theirs. It's a sleight of hand. Let's see if they're going to put an Arclight Phoenix into the graveyard. We are on the draw here, so okay, that's nice, that's nice. And I think we're going to go in for the Favored Hoplite. Let's go ahead and do this. If we drop the Legionnaire, no matter what, they're going to be able to make this disappear. Oh, wow. So yeah. Okay, let's put that away. We have enough land. I was worried about a make disappear. I'm going to give them a Connive. I do not really care that much. I was really worried. Oh, so they do get rid of an Arclight Phoenix, which is a little nerve-wracking. I guess we'll keep the Gods Willing. Anything's better than a land. We can at least use that. And let's swing in here. The problem with the Arclight Phoenix is obviously they can just kind of like one-hit KO you, which is like really, really brutal. But so can we. We can put a lot of damage up here pretty quickly. So there's an Arclight Phoenix. It's actually not that bad. They do tap out this way. So 16 to 16. Got a God's Willing. And it is close. I think we are going to do this. Hold up, the Jetmir's Garden is a little bit slow. I'd rather be a little bit more mana efficient by going for Angelfire Ignition. Get the Season of Growth. No land. Land's a little Get some land anyway, which is okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We might need to push a little bit more for the next turn with Angelfire Ignition and hold up the protection. So I am going to swing in here. And they're going to take it, which is fine. Go up to 19. And like I said, you always have to hold up protection. It's the #1 way. You can't win without a board presence in this deck, so you're not going to win without protection. You have to keep it up. You can't get greedy and pull the Defiant Strike. You just can't. You got to hold that God's Willing. So Galvanic Iteration. I'm assuming they will be having another Arclight Phoenix here. It is kind of unfortunate because we could go for God's Willing to kind of push through for lethal if they had all one-color creatures, but they don't. So we have to be careful about that. But they're probably going to swing with the Arclight Phoenix anyway, so we might be able to call blue. Alright, so they do pay 2 life. That you don't have infinite life there, though. So 9, that is noteworthy. They're going to get a little bit greedy here, but they do have the Galvanic Iteration, so what are they looking to copy here? Oh, a Treasure Cruise. Okay, so that is a little scary just because they're drawing 6 freaking cards, but they're leaving themselves tapped out here. So it's kind of a catch-22 for them. Now it becomes, I mean, if they're tapped out, they're totally tapped out. Now it becomes, do I want to Defiant Strike my 10th District Legionnaire? Just for the card draw and, like, the Season of Growth? It is close, but I think we can't be too greedy here. It's close, but I think I'm going to say no. I want to put as much damage on as possible. Virtuoso. So the Virtuoso is nice, but it's a little slow. I think we're just going to go for the Angelfire Ignition. Hot and fresh out the kitchen. Go and put you away. And another Defiant Strike. Should we swing in with the Favored Hoplite? Let me do some little math here. So I can't go for the God's Willing, of course. Yeah, let's swing in here. Let's swing in here. Let's put a little bit of pressure on them. The Hoplite, of course, we can just... I don't think it's... Let's just swing in here. Yeah. Or maybe... Yeah, let the Hoplite can get in there. I mean, kind of... If I swing in with the Hoplite, I think they're still smart enough to block. So I don't think this would be, like, lethal either way. That's tough. That's tricky. Because I could have went for Defiant Strike, and that would have been an extra 2, and then the Hoplite would have went in for lethal. So that feels pretty bad, but I still don't think we're in that much trouble. The way this deck wins, their deck, not ours, is they have to put up damage. So maybe I should have swung with the Hoplite there. But they probably would have used the Ledger Shredder. And then if I would have used Defiant Strike, I think we would have just been, like, net negative there. So this is fine. This is why we keep up the God's Willing. And they're going to have to take a 2-for-1 here, so I don't really care about the Connive. That's completely fine. So they're going to probably use 2 Lightning Axes on the 10th District Legionnaire, which is completely fine. So there's 1. So I'm assuming another Lightning Axe is coming. Oh, a Fiery Impulse. Okay, well... Let's go for God's Willing. Yeah, that's why we have it. And do they have another one? Ooh, that would be kind of gross. Okay. So now it becomes a game. Swiftspear will definitely keep the Swiftspear. It does have haste, which is nice with our Defiant Strikes. The Virtuoso, no way we have a way to give that a haste, but down to 24. Like I said, we're not that sweating, and we have 2 Virtuosos at this point. Let's go ahead and drop the Jetmir's Garden. Let's go for the Swiftspear and scry 1. Another Legionnaire, that's fine. Haste creatures are fine. They only have 3 life, and I'm going to swing in here. Let's put all the pressure on them. This isn't like lethal or anything like that, but double Defiant Strikes is going to put a lot of pressure on them. So let's go for this. And Defiant Strike. We do all the things with the Season of the Growth. This is going to look pretty good. Again, the Connive, we don't really care. And they just scoop it up. I don't know about that, but okay. Dr. Amish Goat. What a name. Alright, so we're going against the Amish Goat. I guess we'll just go for the Temple Garden. The other 2 lands have to come in tapped unless we drop the Temple Garden anyway. So let's go ahead and do this. And again, we're going to set up our Season of Growth. So black. Let's see what you got here. Thoughtseize. Okay. Again, a lot of people do not pay much respect to the Season of Growth. They usually take away the Swiftspear, which is kind of funny. It is a catch-22. They see, like I said though, they always take away the Swiftspear. The Season of Growth is like, in my opinion, they just never pay that much attention to it. I don't know why. We don't have a creature, so that is kind of unfortunate. So Jetmir's Garden. Let's go for this, and I'm going to use the Jetmir's Garden to cycle. It's not very often that you use the Jetmir's Garden to cycle. You usually just kind of want to get it down, fix up your like mana, but in this case we are. So we get another. Okay, so there we go. So now we're fine. Now we have got 2 threats here. I think we're going to go for the Virtuoso. Of course, we have 2 protection spells. So let's go for the Season of Growth. And the Season of Growth is so much more impactful. We don't win the game by going for Swiftspear like on itself. This is not an aggro deck. And a lot of people just let us have the Season of Growth. So let's go for Wild Shape here. Even if they do have another Fatal Push, we still have another God's Willing. So look at that. Go for the throat. And this is why the Season of Growth is the card that you should take, my friend. Because now we get to draw extra cards, another Virtuoso. Like I said, I'm gonna go getting rid of you, and let's call it black, of course. I think we got enough land here. I think we're kind of pushing for like some more protection spells. So there's another protection spell. I guess we'll get rid of the Stomping Ground. Yeah, we don't get the +1/+1 counters if we discard the lands here, but that's okay. Wild Shape. I guess the Wild Shape's fine. Yep. Whew. Okay, so we burned through 2 other things here, and like I said, the Seasons of the Growth is going to be... They were so much better taking off that, the Swiftspear, so... This is actually deja vu. We have the same exact play. So Season of Growth, I guess we will keep the Gods Willing. Sure. Sure, yeah. Nah, I don't want to play the Swiftspear. The Swiftspear is kind of a luxury card. Ooh, so Shelly. Okay, so this changes the game up a little bit. I don't think that they are going to... We do take all this damage. I don't think this is that big of a deal, though, because if we just swing in here, we've got the Wild Shape, so this will be fine. I don't think I really want to drop the Swiftspear, because I'm not gonna attack with the Swiftspear. Let's go ahead and just swing in here, and I don't think they're gonna block. They are? Okay, well, that's completely fine with me. Let's go for the Wild Shape, and I'm going to go ahead and give myself a 3/3 with Trample. This is going to put us right up to where we need to be, especially if we trample over. We got the Defiant Strike. This is completely fine. I think I'm going to get rid of the Temple Garden, maybe. Well, now that we have the Defiant Strike, we can do this. This puts us up to 3. Defiant Strike, and as long as we connive something else, as long as we have 5 and another Swiftspear, we're taking all this damage from Shelly, but we don't care. And there's the Feather. Now, the Feather could be very, very relevant in this matchup. Seasons of Growth. Yep, again, we're taking a lot of damage here, but we don't care. They're tapped out, and we do get the first strike on the Shelly. Deal 5, and now what do I want to do? I think... If I had another land, I'd go for Seasons of Growth, but we have to hold up the Gods Willing, and we just take it. What a powerhouse, man.